Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh wait, I gotta figure out. So I got a new phone for Christmas and hold on. I need to figure out where my camera is. So, I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping this. Hopefully I do and I just get over it, but like, I guess I'm just like self-conscious about coming on camera with like no makeup and my hair not done and all that. But I thought it would be cool to talk about, my bipolar disorder. If you didn't know, I'm diagnosed bipolar. I feel like I've been bipolar my whole life, but I was just diagnosed back in 2014, I think. Right around the time my middle child was born, my 5-year-old, is when I was diagnosed. While before that, I should say. So like 2013 actually, but anyways, I thought now would be a good time to talk about it because, I definitely have ups and downs, and I just think this is a good time to talk about it. So, I'll do like another video about like holiday update and talk about how our Christmas was and all of that. But, I think that me talking about this could potentially help other people who maybe struggle with the same things as I do. Like that's the whole point to me even coming on camera in the first place and just talking about recovery and back when I used to use and all of that, is to hopefully be able to help somebody. So that's why I always like bring up, I'll be like, I'm trying to get on a schedule and I'm trying this and but I haven't like got a schedule down yet, and it's because it's hard for me to tell every week where I'm gonna be. And some weeks are good, some weeks I feel great, I wake up every day and I feel great, but other weeks it is the only thing that's possible is taking care of my kids, and because that is something that I can just do. and I can do it, and and that's just kind of one of those things that's just not an option, I guess. It's just not an option. So anyways, if I, so I guess I'll talk about before I was diagnosed, what life looked like, and then being diagnosed, and then after. That sounds like the most simple way, but so before I was diagnosed, I always used to have these like severe mood swings, like severe. And it would be like within one day, right? Because I was diagnosed bipolar with rapid cycles. And so, meaning I have rapid cycles of my mood swings. And so before I was diagnosed, it would be like, something would set me off and I would slump into this like really deep depression, or what felt like a deep depression that I was never going to get out of. And then just suddenly I would feel better, and I wouldn't just feel better and feel back to normal. It was like all of a sudden then I was just like hyper and moving around and feel like I could conquer the world and da 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 da. And I constantly went through these ups and downs, and I remember it from like my teenage years on. Always feeling like, and it would be like I could be like in the middle of crying and then start laughing, just like, and it would be like an almost depression would turn into like an almost manic state. And anyways, that was a lot of, so I always thought, sorry, I keep rubbing my eyes, it's like midnight, this is another part of my mental health, but anyways, I always felt like something was definitely off with me. Something was like, because sometimes I would be convinced that I was depressed. Then other times I would be convinced that I had ADHD. And it was like, what is going on? And then I never could figure it out. And I remember being a teenager and, like right around, I think it was right around high school when you start to like study like, I don't want to say like sociology and psych. Well, I guess I did though, because when I was in high school, I did here in Washington, it's called the Running Start program. I don't know if that's nationwide, but here in Washington, that's what it's called. And it's like you take college classes in high school to get your associates. Anyways, so right around that time when I started learning about mental health and like, you know, human behavior and all of that, that's when I started like trying to research myself. Like, what is going on with me? Why do I always feel like this? I never just feel normal. I've never felt normal. So, anyways, I started always thinking something was wrong, something's off, and just not knowing. And then I got so severe in my drug use that, of course, then it's like undetectable because you don't know what the heck is going on. Is this drugs? Is this mental health? Like, and you can really easily blame everything on the drugs. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, so you know, that was a lot of what my life looked like. And then it kind of just got off course because of my drug use. And so then one of the first real times I had got sober for any amount of time, I had started becoming familiar with a doctor. And I would see this doctor for a whole bunch of stuff. And so eventually he got to know me and heard my complaints and was like, you know, maybe we should do some testing and see if there's any kind of chemical imbalances or something going on. So we did that and we figured out that I'm bipolar with rapid cycles and, you know, there's like a chemical imbalance or whatever it's called. And so yeah, so then I was diagnosed and I started on medication. So when I started on medication, the first month I started the medication I was on, it like knocked me out. It made me sleep. And I did not want to continue taking it because I felt like, but my doctor, he like pleaded with me. He's like, just hold on because after a month, you're gonna be fine. It's not gonna knock you out anymore. And it's gonna really help you. So I did. And it did. I started seeing these like drastic changes of feeling more normal than severely low or severely high. But I still have these swings, right? And so I started making this scale. And every time I've explained this to people have been able to understand what I'm saying. But hopefully this makes sense. So I used to use this scale. And it was like, here's 0, right? And then you've got like +1, +2, +3, all the way up to 10. And then you've got like -1, -2, -3, all the way down to 10. And every day when I would wake up, I would try to, you know, close my eyes. And if I couldn't tell right when I wake up, I would like try and get up and move around and then figure out where I'm at for the day. But if I'm really low, I'm going to be able to tell right when I wake up. Majority of the time I can really tell right when I wake up, but sometimes I gotta like just get up to see. So before I started on medication, I would be anywhere from like a +7 and up to a -7 and down. But once I got on the medication, I would be anywhere from like, you know, +2 to +4 to -2 to -4. So it was a lot better, but the swings were still there. And it was like, you know, it's just something that I've learned to live with. And, you know, over time, like when I was using, I wouldn't take my medication anymore. And so then I would get really off track and obviously then I was using, so it was even worse. But since I have been sober for the last 2 years, I have been taking my I think I missed 1 day of medication, and it was because I like ran out of my prescription, but like I faithfully take my medication, and it's been really helpful. But since I've gotten my kids back, maybe it's just like the newly added stress, but these swings have been like way higher and lower than usual. No, they haven't been like as severe as before I was ever diagnosed, but they stay at like a +5 and up and a -5 and down. And it kind of sucks because it's like, this should be the happiest time of my life. Like, I got my kids back, I'm sober, but at the same time, when you get sober, you start to get all your feelings back, and like reality starts to hit, and like, there's so much just stuff I live with, guilt, shame, like regret, all that. And it's just like, sometimes are better, some days are better than others, but it's like, it's just hard, So like, one of the things that are like really, like if I'm feeling really good, I'll usually always do my makeup because I love doing makeup. It's just like fun for me. I enjoy it. Makes me feel better. But then if I don't feel good, then I stay in pajamas. I stay in pajamas, and I just do the bare minimum. Like, I will take care of my kids. I make sure my kids are always taken care of, but anything for me, like any kind of self-care for me, is like way an afterthought. Way an afterthought, which, majority of the time, self-care is always an afterthought to my kids, at least. Everything is an afterthought to the kids, which I think is how it should be. But I do know that there's people in life who can find a balance. And sometimes when I'm not feeling well, it's hard to find that balance. It's like I'll just completely neglect myself and focus everything on my kids, because for good reason, but obviously not for good reason. I shouldn't be neglected at the same time. But anyways, that is a lot of the challenge that I find in filming, and because I've had this like weird fear, like I don't want to come on camera and not look good, or like this, but this is like normally how I look. This is just normal. I usually have my hair up in like a little bit of a frizzy ponytail and no makeup on. But when I've been filming, I just do makeup because, like I said, I enjoy doing makeup and it makes me feel good, and I feel more comfortable in front of the camera. But I think if I want to be authentic and be myself, I should be able to come on camera authentic, like who I really am. And not to say, not to say I'm not going to come on camera with makeup again, but I do want to have the ability to come on camera without makeup and not feel some type of way about it, And it's not like I have gotten anything but support from anybody I haven't gotten any hate. And I know that's part of YouTube, and so I'm not saying I'm scared of hate, but this isn't like a, the reasonable fear, everybody has been so supportive and so, just kind at my comment section and likes and all of that. Everybody's been so kind and, supportive that I shouldn't feel like this, but I guess it's just something in me, But anyways, it's something I am going to post this. I am going to, because I've committed and I'm going to. But yeah, I guess I just thought that this would be a good way to break the ice and show up authentic as I can be, as authentic as I can be. So yeah, that's my spiel on bipolar. I'm sure that I will come up with something else to talk about when in regards to bipolar disorder and all of that. I think what I will do definitely is leave a link below for like some support or mental health website, probably, because that might be helpful. And yeah, and I know the next thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to start how my CPS process started, and I'm going to start that next. And so yeah, I have that on the list. I've got maybe a holiday update of how the holidays went, but I can just do a brief rundown really quick of that one. Or should I? I just feel like by the time I get to the holiday video, it's going to be like a week after the holidays. But Christmas was great. My kids, Santa came. We have family. Eric and I, both of our families, showed out for the kids. It's just like my house is a nightmare right now. It's messy. I'm trying my best to get everything, find a home for everything, because there's so many presents, and Santa really outdid himself this year, which that was so cool. My kids were so excited. So it to the point where like the next day, my youngest slept until 11:20 in the morning. Like we were all worn out because we woke up here, and then we went to Eric's family and then my family's, and so it was just like a whole day adventure. And oh, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. Eric got me a new phone. Can you tell? Camera quality? So excited about it. I was so excited I started crying. And then his mom got me a ring light. So can you tell the lighting? It's bomb, right? I was just like, and then I cried when I opened that from her too, because she said to me, she just wanted to help support me, and you know, I was just like, oh, I'm crying now. It was just cool. All of it was cool. It's great. It's just cool because I'm a crier. You guys will get to know this. Anybody who really knows me knows I'm a serious crier. I'm a Cancer, like through and through, and I'm a really serious crier. But it's just cool because to know where Eric and I have came from, and like, man, to be able to like spend the holidays with our kids, with our family. My oldest daughter, who I have not been involved with, like I hadn't seen my oldest daughter in 7 years when I got sober. She got me a Christmas present. Like, it was just an emotional time. It's always an emotional time because, you know, I got sober in December of 2017, and like I remember that first Christmas and just being like, it was like that first Christmas I was sober. I was only like 20 days sober, you know, 25 days sober on Christmas back then. And I was like, I was still, I mean, my old roommate Nikki will tell you, like, I was a mess at that time still. And thinking like, this isn't gonna last. My kids are I'm never gonna know my kids or see my kids. Like, it was just a lot. And to fast forward to now, it's like life is so different. Nothing I ever thought would have ever happened, and it's all happening. And it's really cool. So I know that, you know, I try and tell people, because where I live right now, people actively use, like, obviously not in my apartment, but people all around here use. And like, I really try to like encourage and inspire other people to really get their shit together, because it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Everything about it is worth it. And the only, like, for me, from my experience, the real hard part of getting sober is the getting sober part. Staying sober is possible. You can do it if you keep the mentality that you need to have, and like, just don't let that become an option. It's so possible, and it's so worth it. So, you know, of course I would end a bipolar video crying, like, duh. Of course I would, but you know, it's just a part of me. I've people who were in treatment with me, the girls who like are really close to me, who know me, know that I'm a tough crier. I'm just a tough crier. That's it. I'm a tough person, but I cry. And yeah, that's just me. But you know, I'm gonna have really cool. I'm excited for next week, because we're going to Disneyland. Me and my girls, and my grandma, and my aunt, my other aunt, her kids, and my oldest daughter, who, like I said, when I got sober, I hadn't seen her in 7 years, and now we've been able to like rebuild a relationship, and we get to go to Disneyland together, and that's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna, you know, bring you guys along with, and you know, do some vlogs, like some like amateurly edited vlogs, you know, like where I can piece the clips. I'm gonna figure it out, okay? But yeah, that's my little story about bipolar and my Christmas, my emotional Christmas, and rubbing my eyes at midnight. It's midnight my time. I'll probably just post this in the morning. But yeah, anyways, please like and subscribe if you like my video and want to subscribe. I don't want to force anybody. But yeah, and then I'll leave a link down below with some mental health stuff in there probably. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.